Hello, everybody. All right. Hello, everyone. Basically, if you're wondering why I have it up there for Division 3 is that's what we are basically going to discuss. Because I basically looked up a few of the details. And they will be continuing off from Division 2 as far as story. The story content. That's pretty much what I know as of right now. They are not going to basically change too much of the story. What they are going to do is basically you are going to see them add new missions. So no doubt we're going to get a lot of new missions that's going to be involved along with other new things involved. It'll be nice if we get also different equipment involved, such as different skills and different things we can use in our battle against the enemies. I'm looking forward to Division 3 as they're in the process. I'm sure they will release more as it comes along, as the game progresses. But I'll be looking forward to it because Ubisoft does great work. From what I've seen from them, what I've noticed from them, in their work in Division 2 and Division 1, they have done excellent work. So the fact that they're going to keep the story as is and add newer missions for a third one, it's going to be interesting, to say the least, as they continue forward. Now, I basically have been paying attention little by little as they release details. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I'm excited to see how they're going to continue this forward as far as gear pieces, armor pieces, weaponry. I'm excited to see how they're going to go about this because the thing of it is, you figure how much of a huge story that it already was when it came to Division 2, and when you got at the end of that. So I hope that we get introduced to a lot of different things besides just the new missions. I hope that they add a lot of different territories. That if they're going to extend this, hopefully there's more areas that are opened up. So, I mean, we can have a discussion about it because the thing of it is, I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions of what you think might occur. Because right now, they're only doing little details that they're telling us. And that's to be expected. They're not going to release like large details until it gets closer. So they're going to release little teasers, tidbits, and stuff like that because that's how they do it. But it's really awesome. And truthfully, they're going to give some big surprises. I can definitely say that because Ubisoft knows how to do that. They might not have a good rep inside their studio, but when it comes to their games in general, they do know how to draw a crowd. So I know that when they do complete this game of Division 3, get ready to be surprised. Because they're going to surprise us all in a huge way. because I know that they're going to be putting in like a lot of hard work in this. And I know a lot of detail is going to be put into this, and a lot of quality is going to come out of this. So, I mean, until then, we can speculate, or until then, we can just toss around ideas of what we think's going to occur or going to happen. Because that's what I love about this whole thing of running this channel and talking about games to come, games that are already out there, or just, talking about it and just tossing things back and forth, giving ideas, just discussing things about it, that even if the opinions I give or I discuss things back and forth, even if it's not 100% right or 50% right, it's just a fact of being able to kind of come up with some ideas, because then when you see a game release and you see how some of the things that you discuss, some of them actually happen. That's the cool part about it, is being able to discuss it amongst gamers. People that you have things in common with. Because us gamers, we talk to other people that game, because the thing of it is, that's who we have things in common with. But I'll tell you what, nonetheless, it's not like I'm not going to get, Division 3 when it does hit and when it is all said and done. Because I'll be getting this just like, Grand Theft Auto 6 when it hits the market. Because there's only very few games that I'm looking forward to. There's Division 3, Hitman 4, and GTA 6. Those will be my three top games. So that's why I'm paying attention, as they're doing the work, as they're putting in the detail, putting in the time, and working on it. Because I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out, when it's all said and done and they get it finished. So, because I will be looking forward to it the second that it does come out. Now, I don't know if anyone else feels just as excited as I do, but yeah. I'm hoping that there's like newer gear pieces introduced. A lot more weapons get introduced. Skills. I'm trying to think. Because I know there's a lot they've had on Division 2, but I don't know if anyone else out there in my audience would want to see, anything that you guys would want to see come to Division 3 that was not in Division 2. Because I know there's a lot of things that kind of were missing in Division 2 that I don't think were there. But I don't see myself not getting hours of enjoyment out of Division 3 when it drops. So, but yeah, just in general, gaming is getting even more enjoyable. Because as they're introducing the games with the higher graphical detail, the higher quality, it's just making it more intense and extreme from where I used to be with the systems I ran. from Atari to the PlayStation 1. Um, yeah. So, but give me your thoughts and opinions. Let me know in the chat. If there's anything you could think of that you'd want to see introduced in Division 3, that might not have been in Division 2. Um, I see that they finally put the survival mode in Division 2, which I really think is awesome. That they finally did that and they added snow into Division 2. Because the thing of it is, for a while we had nothing but that range system that was in Division 2. So that finally happened. And I'm interested to see how they're going to spin the story as it pertains to it. I wonder what skills they can further advance. I wonder if they're going to raise the level up system, or if it's going to still stay at the certain level up system. Like you're not going to be able to go any further, or if they're going to take that level system and change it. I really wonder. Because like I said, there's a lot of things that they can change going into the next game. Now, I don't know if they're going to, if they're going to change those things or not. It's hard to say.
You can't get in your word?
They could make those changes if they wanted to make those changes. It would be nice, truthfully. But I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. It really will be. I still find enjoyment when I do play Division 2, but it's just sometimes the repeated missions. And if you get players that don't really know what they're doing, and then you have to revive them a crap ton, and you're putting yourself on the front line, and you're getting dropped a lot while trying to keep your partners up, that can be rough to do. I've experienced that a lot of times. I've had a hard time with that one. I've joined a team where some of my teammates, I've had to try to raise them up when they get dropped, and then I get dropped shortly after. So that's where that gets a little bit rough to try to do. That's not exactly easy. So, but not only that, as far as Division 3 coming, Hitman 4 is another game that I am basically looking forward to, because they're also going to do something in Hitman 4 that was not there in Hitman 3. And they're going to give a little bit more freedom for you to plan how you hit your targets when you go after your enemies. So that's another thing that I think is going to be awesome. Because Hitman 3, they let you plan how you're going to execute and take out your targets. But now what they're going to do is they're giving a little more freedom as to where they're going to, how can I say it? They're not going to have as much guidelines that you have to follow, like mission stories and stuff, to be able to take them out. You can pretty much do as you want to do to take them out. So they give you a little bit more freedom to do that. So that's how they're doing that with, the missions there on Hitman 4. And what I've heard, and this is on GTA 6, the wanted level system on Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a lot more intense, because now the wanted system on GTA 6, if you commit a crime within the city, they're going to put up police tape, and the police are going to do forensics of the scene, and they're going to do that to be able to track you down. They're also going to do it to where they will ask a round of your last known whereabouts now. So now it's going to get even tighter. So instead of you just slipping into a tunnel, driving into a tunnel to try to escape them, you're not going to be able to do that no more. Because the wanted system is going to be like the police are going to be able to find you by your license plate or your last known whereabouts, what clothes you were wearing, and what things you had on when you committed that crime. So now, guys, it's going to get a lot more intense as you go to commit crimes. So you have to find a whole new way to try to outrun the police on Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, this is just a little bit of what I've seen online of the wanted system and the changes that they're making with this as it's coming down the line. So, it's going to get cooler, with the game. So, and you're going to be able to have missions, where you'll have a female and male protagonist, which is going to be even more fun. But I look forward to it because Rockstar knows how to do things with their games. So, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm looking forward to it. And then, like I said, with LA Noire, I also seen that where Rockstar may be considering remastering that. And the thing is, that'd be cool if that's the case. Like I said, things that Rockstar does, they don't spare no expense. Yeah, when it all comes right down to it, there's only a few major studios out there that I've seen that will do things and not spare no expense. Ubisoft does a great job. Rockstar, they've done an excellent job on things that they've done. So, but I am really excited. Even IOI with like Hitman 3, Hitman 4, and then don't forget James Bond. The latest James Bond game that's going to be coming out. Yeah, you see how well that is being done. The younger James Bond now, and how well the studios that made Hitman 3 and now is working on Hitman 4, that how well they're doing with the latest James Bond. They're amazingly taking the James Bond game and making that look so awesome. So you can tell amazing work and detail can be done as long as these companies are willing to take the time to put the quality into their product, into their game, into their detail. And I think a few of these developers should be an example to other developers. And I think other developers should just look and see what IOI or IOA does, what Rockstar does, what Ubisoft does when they make their games. I think that other studios should look and see, hey, if all these studios here are making great games, then we can do the same thing. Because it's not impossible, folks. And nothing is impossible to do if you have the right tools, the time, and yeah, if you're willing to put the effort into it to make something great. Yeah, there's so many games that have been scrapped, entirely just tossed, and it's all because nobody wants to take that time and effort to put in to make something great. Yeah, and there's been so many games that have been missed opportunities that could have been out there. Yeah, even great game titles that could have been shaped into something, but because they wanted to just ditch them because they didn't think it was good enough, and it's just because, they didn't want to shape it or mold it into something. That's why you have, you got these good AAA games and AA games that are out there now because of the effort and the time that was taken to do those. Sorry about that. Don't mean to yawn. But anyway, that's the thing. You're seeing some great games coming now, but that's because now they're taking the effort. Now they're standing up. Now they're realizing there's so many games that are now getting done because of the willingness that they're having to want to do it to the fullest extent and finishing it. But the thing of it is, there are so many others, that can be done as well. Like, I took this survey yesterday, okay? I took a survey about WWE 2K, okay? The wrestling game. They were asking me a few questions in this survey. What made you not want to get 2K26? What made you basically kind of like, what made you get into wrestling? Okay. What made me get into wrestling and be passionate about WWE in the first place, and I'll say this right now. At one time, alright, I used to watch wrestling a bunch. That was whenever they kept on doing different storylines each day of the week. You always had these storylines and these promos that were hilarious. And they were different ones from different wrestlers. They were cutting different crazy promos, but they weren't the same promos. They weren't doing the same thing. They were always shaking it up. They were always doing something else that made you laugh, that made you chuckle. They were doing something else that was crazy each week. They were finding new ideas, new creative ways to get the audience to stay and to watch. You had backstage attacks. You had wrestlers fighting in the parking lots. You had wrestlers fighting outside of the building. You had wrestlers fighting and throwing each other into a river. You had some wrestlers that would battle each other. You had dudes climbing up the stage, willing to dive off the stage on top of each other, doing insane things that you would never, ever think that would ever happen in wrestling. And that's what kept it interesting for me. And you had these storylines that were written for these guys that you never thought would push the envelope or the threshold of what these guys would do in WWE. And that's the thing. That's what kept it fun. Now, what turned me away from watching it is when they started doing repetitive things. Like when they started repeating storylines, when they started doing character work that was basically like the same thing. They would get talent that would kind of mimic the same things. Sorry about that. But anyway, characters that would mimic the same things or do the same kind of style. I mean, those are the things that turned me away from that. You know, and kind of like turned me off from wanting to watch it or play the games. I mean, at one time the games were fun because you had those backstage attacks that would carry over to the game. You know, and it would make the game interesting and fun. And those were the older games too. I mean, those were the games that were a lot of fun because you could continuously attack, you know, your opponent backstage, and you would have the continued thing going on like that. So that's kind of what made me continue to play them because it was always, you know, something different. But the backstage attacks were fun, the falls count anywhere, steel cage, the Hell in a Cell matches, and like, you know, that stuff was interesting to me. But then I got older and I got to a point I was like, you know what? Not anymore. So yeah. And when I started playing them and I started seeing the other ones and how a lot of it, they took a lot out, and it just started to be like not as interesting to me. Now I'll be honest, since I've started playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem and getting into Resident Evil 7, I have had more fun with those games, those two games right there, in general, than I've had with the wrestling games. So, truthfully, that is an honest opinion right there. Besides enjoying Division 2, and at times I've dabbled in playing GTA 5 online. I mean, there's times I've gone over, checked it out, seen what was going on over there, seen what was jumping, you know, see if there was anybody online or seeing if there was anybody gaming on GTA 5, you know. Because from time to time I wanted to see what was going on over there. So that's why at times I went over, you know, on the servers on Grand Theft Auto 5 just to see what was going on over there. So, like I said, you know, I get excited about video games in general. So it doesn't matter which ones that are out there. I give everything a fair shake. Game Pass, since it's been lowered, my opinion on that is, even if it's a $7 difference, that's still a savings, in my opinion. So I think it's a good thing that it has been lowered. And the way that Asha Sharma's gone about investigating, looking into stuff, this is great because she's doing more than anyone's wanted to do for the sake of the company. And she's not waiting around. You know, she's getting up, she's doing things. So it's not just come in and say, okay, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. No, she's actually showing action. So she's putting action behind every single bit of words that she's saying. And that's what's great. That's what you want in a CEO. That's what you want in a boss. Because you don't want a boss not to come in and do their job. You want a boss to come in and be able to stand up and say things and do them. You know, and not just come in and not do their job or do what's in their job description. You know, you want them to fulfill their duties. So, but, you know, like I said, now there's so much great games this year. And so much great things for all of us out there. I mean, when you consider it. And the summer showcase, like I've said numerous times, we have no idea what we're going to see. We could see more than what they're basically going to tell us. We could see more showing up than what's out there now. Because we never know what Xbox is getting together. We never know what they're going to show, what they're not going to show. I mean, we could sit here and we can guess and we can ponder. We could, you know, throw things around in our heads and take guesses at it and think about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to know what is coming until it's actually there. So that's why I say, I mean, we can guess about it. We can, you know, have our ideas about what may be there. But we're not going to really know until it comes to that time. But just rest assured, we are going to get a lot of awesome games that are going to show up. Lots of content for us to enjoy for the rest of this year, going into next year. And according to Colt Eastwood, he's another guy I watch. He has a show XNC on Monday nights. According to what he said, that in May, they're going to, I think it's, I forgot the two dudes, but they're actually going to talk about the Helix a little bit more. So we're going to hear a little bit more about the Helix and stuff like that. No, sorry about that, Jet. But yeah, I think it was Jez Gordon from Windows Central and one other person was going to talk about it with him. So, I mean, it's going to heat up and really get interesting. Right as we get close to the summer showcase, Fan Fest, I mean, things are going to get interesting, and it's going to be awesome to say the least, with us not knowing what we're seeing there in June. Even game releases now in July. And, you know, September 3rd. I mean, we have a stacked card for this year. And then we don't even know what's really coming next year. We might know a few things that's coming next year. We might have an idea in general of a few things, but we really don't know about all of them. Yeah, we could sit here and we could speculate till the cows come home. But that doesn't mean that we're going to know. I'm not sitting here with a crystal ball in my hand to be able to say, abracadabra, tell us what's coming in June. Like, I can't really tell you. I mean, we could sit here and gas and stuff like that, man, but we would exhaust ourselves. Because I don't know what Xbox is arranging. We don't know what Asher Sharma's talking about right now with Satya Nadella, Amy Hood. We have no idea what all they're planning to show off there at Summer Showcase. We don't know what they're going to do over the next few months or going in next year with the Helix releasing. We don't even know what's going on with Sony or even Nintendo. So we don't have all those answers. But the only thing that we can definitely, and I really can say this with certainty, that we will have content and we will not be short of it. Because if you look at everything that is going to release this year and partially next year, no shortage on content. So I don't want to hear, oh, there's hardly any games out there. Don't sell me on that BS, because truthfully, you're not going to. There is a stacked card in 2026. There is a stacked card of content out there. And no doubt you guys have plenty of games you're playing already on your consoles. I can almost guarantee it, everyone. I'm sure you guys are probably having a tough choice what to choose from to play every day. So I know there's more than enough for everyone to enjoy out there. I mean, sure, if you got maybe games that might not be up your alley or something you might not enjoy, but there's always something you can find out there that you can have fun with or enjoy. So, but, let me think here. But other than that, I mean, things are pretty much going well. As you see, I'm keeping things up on the channel the best I can. I am trying to make sure that I maintain a healthy routine as well, the best I can. So, not trying to slow up with releasing content. As you see, I try to put up as many shorts as I possibly can on the channel every chance that I get, and that's in between if I have places to go or things to do, because sometimes I may have things to do or places to go. So I will try to get some more video game footage recorded. I will need opinions though, if there's any games that you guys would like in particular to be done on the channel. You could give me your thoughts and opinions down in my chat to let me know what kind of games you would like to see on the channel. You know, I could use your help with some input because, of course, I want to go to my community to ask for input, because I like to hear from my community about stuff like that. So, right now this is just a standard setup pretty much. This is a gaming PC, but it's not one of those like major gaming PCs that I run right now. The reason why it's not is because You know, at the moment, it's just a PC that I can run to do the show with, mainly when it comes to recording my gaming footage to put it up on the channel. I use my Xbox for that. And then I record and I post it up on the channel. I did look into a professional tripod and digital camera, or I should say digital camcorder, that I am keeping in mind for the channel eventually. So, more support that I get, I am working on building this channel up to reach a certain count, so that way I can start doing live things as well. But like I said, you know, there's a lot to be excited for. I mean, you got the release of Forza Horizon 6 in May. James Bond is May 26th, I believe. So we got that on the way. Like, I can't believe it. It blows my mind with this year in general. All the games that they're wanting to get out. It's going to be something, you know. And for sure, it's going to be where people are going to have a hard time because of all the games. And especially when you have a lot of people that are huge fans of a lot of games, I could see where it would make it hard for people like that. Like if you got people that are James Bond fans, then you got people that are fans of Forza Horizon 6. Then you got people that are fans of Wolverine and GTA 6. Like, you got so many people, and if they're fans of those few games that I just mentioned, imagine how hard it's going to be on those people to be able to decide, what game am I buying? What game am I investing in? And then you see so many other games pumped out besides those that it's enough to blow your mind. Because then you're like, what do I do? There's so many good games here. I'm having a rough time. I can imagine, you know, what it'll be like for people. It'll be crazy. But it's awesome to see a lot of games coming out because there's going to be a lot of choices that people can make. So that's where that's good. And the production of these games, you know, being this way is a good thing too. Because when you think about certain years where you didn't have games coming out like this, that's where it's a good thing. You know? Because then now it's starting to happen where you're actually getting games that are coming out now. Yeah, it's basically what? A full year or a full year's worth of games, but you're finally getting games that you want. You're finally getting major games going into production. So the fact of the matter is, when you're getting games like that are going into production, and you're starting to see the change that's happening, that's what makes it great. Because you're seeing how this year is getting so full with all these games in it. And if you think about years before that, where you had what they called gamers droughts, and there was like no games. There was barely any games at all. What, maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 games in a year. Now you have so many games that you don't know where they're all going to fit or go, for that matter. And it's going to make a gamer feel like their wallet's going to get crushed. But I say this, folks, time and time again. You have choices now. Choices. You can pick and choose through all these games what is your favorite and what you're going to get. Because truthfully, now you have the choices that weren't there before that are there now. And that's the best part. You have your options now. You can weigh your options about what is for you, what isn't for you. And that's what makes it great. Yeah, and you're still going to have a blast. Because it's not like you have to go buy up every video game just because of the fact that they're getting released like they are. You can pick and choose from your favorites. That's what I do. I don't buy a game unless I know that that game is really going to connect with me. I'm not just going to go buy a video game and then if I'm not going to play that video game, I'm not going to go invest in something that I know is just going to sit. Because why would I do that when I know I'm just wasting my time doing that? It's not worth it. It's not worth it because I'm buying a video game in the long run that is just sitting, not even being played, not even doing a platinum for the game, not even trying to go after a gold for the game, not even trying to achieve a goal for the game. So that's the thing. I'm not just going to go and invest in it unless I know that it's going to be a game that will be worth investing in. So I'm not just going to spend a lot of money and let it sit. That's what I do with my games now. That's what I've been doing. That's like Resident Evil 9. When I bought it, I'm like, I'm going to make sure I play this thing. And sure enough, I've been playing it. Same with Resident Evil 7. Now, the only other game that I did not go back to for a while, and I can honestly say this with certainty, I did not go back to Watch Dogs Legion. For a while, I left that one alone. I have not gotten back on that one for a good while. I don't know why I haven't, but yeah, that is one that I have not gotten back onto. In a way, I've wanted to get back onto it. I've wanted to get myself back into it, but I haven't really got myself back into that one. So, yeah, that's one I haven't gotten into. Like I said, I've also played Grand Theft Auto 5, but that's just a little bit of that. My thoughts on Resident Evil 9 since I finished it, it has been great. My rating, if I'd have to rate it, I would have to give it a 90. And basically, I would have to give it a 0 from 10. A 0 up to 10. I'd have to give it a 10. In my book, it was a 10. It didn't really irritate me when it came to the stutter with Grace. But honestly, Capcom did a great job. And I'm looking forward to anything else that Capcom does. Whether they decide to further the story a little bit more, or any other things they decide to do. They've done an excellent job with that game. Even Resident Evil 7, they did a great job with. So, but I would appreciate if you want to help contribute, just make sure your notification bell is switched to all. If you can help me out by sharing and giving a like to this channel, I would appreciate that, because that'll help me to grow this channel. And that'll let YouTube know that you enjoy the content that's always provided on this channel. I'm trying to reach 50 subscribers, so that way I can start doing lives through my phone, so that way anytime that I do gaming, I can do my gaming live and not have to constantly be recording and posting up. That way I can just do a straight up live show. So, yeah, like I said, Resident Evil 9, I've had fun and all that, playing that for hours. But I've been also trying to switch it up. So I've been trying to go in between games as much as I can and not just stay with one. As much as that gets rough to do. Because once you start playing one game, it's kind of hard to stop. Sorry about that. But you know how that is, because once you start playing one game, then it gets kind of hard, because then it's hard to get off that one game you're playing to go to another. So, that's kind of, where I'm at with that. But as far as the channel, I will continue to work hard, like I said, to keep up with content. I'm excited to see what more is going to be coming. Capcom also did a great job with Pragmata. That was a good game. The only thing for me, the hacking would not be for me. But if you would be into the game yourself, I would say, heck yeah, go for it. Now, Saros, I also seen my buddy Mag from I Am the Mag. He's also a subscriber to my channel as well. I'm giving a huge shout out to him, by the way. I don't know if he is tuning in at all, but if he is, what up, dude? Anyway, I watched him play Saros the other day. I think it was today. He defeated the big boss in there. And the thing is, with that game, as fast paced as that is, I don't think that's a game I could pull off. I am skilled, but when it comes to games that move a little bit faster, I'm not exactly what you would call a fast paced individual. So it would be rough for me to do that. And I'm just sitting here and being honest and open and honest about it. That would be rough for me. Yeah. So I have done difficult things. I have done difficult hacks on Grand Theft Auto 5 before. When you go underground to the hidden missile base, I have done that hack on all 4 computers. And I was able to do that to full completion. So, I'll tell you what, that was difficult. Because you had to do that in a certain synchronized order to break the circuits, and you had to break the circuits in a certain order in order to unlock the computer to stop Avon Hertz. So I'll tell you what, when it came to that one, boy did I get challenged in that. I mean, it was fun for me. I can't say it wasn't stressful, because it definitely was. I mean, it came with its own challenges. So. And it's not a mission that I would want to repeat over and over again, I'll tell you that. Because the thing is, when it came to that one, yeah, it's not something that I would do over. I mean, if I had to, I would do it. But yeah, it's something that would really drive you up the dang wall. To do over and over again, yeah. Yeah. But I've done it. I've done other hacks too. Like I've done the pipe hack that you have to do for the small bank. I've done that hack before. I mean, this was when I was like hardcore into playing Grand Theft Auto 5. So, but those were different times too. Those were different times at a different moment. Things were different for me. So. But yeah, I mean, I've always been able to find something enjoyable about a game in general. Because that's what I've always tried to find is something interesting, about it. And not only that, when you play these games, that you go on these adventures and have to find, like, all this stuff that's hidden around the map, and all these things you gotta find in order to unlock something else. That's what I like, about these open world games and stuff like that. Like, before you can move on, they want you to search for this, or they want you to search for that. That's what I like. I don't like games that constantly are holding your hand. I don't like games where constantly it makes you feel like, someone's over your shoulder. And because when it's like that, it makes it kind of hard for you to understand the game a little bit more. And it makes it hard for you to grasp the concept of the game. It makes it tough when you're sitting there and you're playing it. And if you have too many clues where they're just given to you, instead of you being able to search for those clues by yourself, that is where it drives me nuts. Like, these are clues that you could search for yourself, but when they're clues that are given to you, how are you really doing anything for yourself if you're having way too many clues given to you within a game? Like, if you notice in Silent Hill, they don't hold your hand. You can go through that game and search for the things on your own to find them. You can go through it and look on your map and search the places for yourself. Now, I'll admit, sometimes I've had to Google and look online, when it came to Resident Evil. But the thing is, it's a game where they didn't hold your hand. And that's what's great about stuff, in my opinion, is when your hand isn't being held and you're able to do things on your own. It's up to you to figure it out. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy games that challenge you. I enjoy games that give you that challenge. They don't stop you from finding your own way at times to be able to do something. Instead of doing it to the guidelines that are on that game. But to find your own unique way of escaping, or your own unique way of doing something. To think outside of the box, so to speak. Because when you have that opportunity to think outside of the box, it gives new opportunities. And when you can learn yourself, it makes you into a better gamer. In my opinion, it improves your gaming skills. Because then it takes the skills as a gamer that you have, but it shows that you can think on your feet and, you can use the different skills you've learned by running the different maps in different ways. Because sometimes you have that little extra thing there that no one else does on that map. So that's what's nice about finding different ways to do something. Because, see, you're learning as a gamer what it takes to get something done. And that's what makes you a great gamer. is when you can figure out a problem that isn't even on the game. Or if you figure out an escape route that wasn't even really an escape route, but you find one anyway. Like, I've done that a ton of times in Grand Theft Auto 5. I have found escape routes that weren't even there, but I found them anyway. And that was just by experimenting and looking around the territory. And I found escape routes. So, that's just how crazy it is. You could simply find these areas by just looking around. And looking around, just by driving around and looking around. And as long as you remember where these areas are, you're in good shape. But it's always a matter of remembering where the location is to go to, so you don't end up getting lost. And that usually 9 times out of 10 ends up being the problem, because then sometimes it's easy to get mixed up and then go to the wrong spot, and then you're like, oh crap, I went to the wrong spot. So, I mean, I've done that a few times too, where I've set up a good route, set up a good spot, and then all of a sudden I go to the wrong spot. So, I mean, I've done that quite a few times. I've been guilty of that myself. So, but yeah, I'm always trying to find new ways to improve my gaming skills. No matter what game I'm playing, no matter what thing I'm doing on that game, whether it's Grand Theft Auto 5 or any other title for that matter, I try to look for the best escape routes when I do run Grand Theft Auto 5. I think it's really funny too, because when I've ran those different escape routes, I've actually had players get upset with me. And I've had these players get so upset to a point that they've actually rage quit. I've had players get so angry that they would just rage quit and leave the game. They would quit the mission just to get me out of it, and some of them would use it as a way to kill me. Just because of the way that I chose to run it or go. And it was the best course to run it, safest course to run it, for less damage. But just because they didn't want it done that way, they would get angry at me. But yet, in my opinion, why would you get upset with me if basically I'm trying to help you to run the mission the safest way that I can, so your vehicle's not getting damaged and that you're passing that mission as successful as possible. And then you're just going to get mad and rage quit. Why? Because of the fact that I am trying to help you out the best I can. Like, how ridiculous are you by just simply quitting? So That's why sometimes it irritates me, when it comes to doing multiplayer, because, you'll have that in different groups. So, but I think, I have to be getting prepared to wrap this up, because I'm starting to feel it. But just wanted to come on here, talk about Division 3 a little bit, and give you a couple of thoughts and opinions of my own. If you have any thoughts you want to share or opinions of your own, feel free to leave them in my chat. Let me know what you think, what you think is coming or what you think is going to be coming. If you want to further help support the channel, I would appreciate that. Just don't forget to make sure your notification bells are switched to all so we never miss a moment of this. Make sure if you can help me out by sharing, clicking the like button and all that, because that'll help to get this out to other people that might enjoy this content as much as you do. Hope you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves as we head toward the weekend. And remember, enjoy plenty of games, but also to spend time with your family. Most of all, like I always say, right at the end,